Hello, and welcome to the Warrior Way podcast. The date is September 1st, 2022, and we have a special show for you today. Today's guests include the senior class volleyball players, the class of 2023. We talk about a lot of stuff, including their volleyball hopes and dreams for the year, the championship from last year, and so much more, their hopes and ambitions for this year. It's a great show. But first, I want to talk about the senior class events committee. Okay? If you would like to donate to the senior class events committee, which includes giving stuff, just giving to the senior class for certain parties and such like that, you can email jamie.newsoma@k12.sd.us below. Again, jamie.newsoma@k12.sd.us below. And if you can't see it on the podcast, then you better subscribe to the YouTube. Yes, this is the first episode where we have video. It's a big day in the history of the Warrior Way podcast, and we're so excited to do it.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It is time.
For the greatest thing there is.
This is the way.
This is the Warrior Way.
Yeah, we're in. Okay. All right. So, ladies, thank you for being here this morning. We're trying a new format of the Warrior Way podcast this morning, and we're excited to have you three on here. Thank you for getting up bright and early after a late night last night. I just want you three to introduce yourselves so that the listeners kind of know who they'll be listening to this morning.
Introduce yourself and then tell us what elementary school you went to and what middle school you went to, okay?
Okay.
Randy, you can start.
My name is Brianna Hansen, and I went to Amy Sullivan Elementary School and then Whittier Middle School.
I'm Jocelyn Richardson, and I went to Cherry Hills Village Elementary, then Susan B. Anthony, then Patrick Henry.
My name is Kira Thorstensen, and I went to John Harris Elementary and then Patrick Henry Middle School.
Nice. So the goal for us this morning is, like you three just said, get to know you three a little bit more, but also we're 2 games into the volleyball season. Can kind of gauge a little bit of where we're at so far, but the ultimate goal is we know we want to be somewhere special by November. So we want to talk about your guys' thoughts being senior leaders, what it's like to be seniors. Probably hasn't really hit yet until maybe you get midway or later in the season. This is kind of coming to an end. But also want to get your thoughts on, I know I work with Coach Schroeder, and he has said that he doesn't really feel like season is started because we don't even have a gym to get into yet. It's been weird with us redoing our gym floor, being at Ben Rifle all summer. Now you guys, the date kind of gets pushed back and we're still practicing at Ben Rifle. So we lift here, we go to Ben Rifle for practice. We had to reschedule a game this Thursday, right? So we don't have a game tomorrow. Want to get your thoughts on kind of just how this roller coaster has been and how you guys have provided leadership through this kind of unstable time. So first off, Jocelyn, we'll go to you. What is it like being a senior so far, and what are some of the challenges you've seen in now kind of developing that senior leadership for our team?
Well, it's really weird being a senior because the time went by so fast, and it's like really weird because there's no one telling you what to do anymore. Like, you have to lead them. But this year has been especially weird because I don't know how to lead them because I don't even know what I'm doing myself. I don't know where practice is sometimes, and we're running around to our gym, and actually today our practice is at Avera, which is 20 minutes across town. But I think stepping into the role has kind of been fitting, and I'm excited to lead the people because we have a ton of new faces on our team this year.
Yeah. Speak to who are some of those new faces that are maybe stepping up and seeing some varsity minutes this year for our team.
Yeah, so we got Taryn Kirsch that transferred from Lincoln. She's definitely been a crazy help to the team, especially last night. She played a great game. And Kate Legal, she was on JV last year. She's a sophomore as well, and she's one of our outside hitters. And she's picking it up. It's a tough spot to be put into with like Ellie Walker and Jaden Shetton and all them leaving. And but they're doing the work and they're stepping up into that role.
For sure. How have you, and anybody can answer this, how has this season so far, how have you kind of tried to step into more of that senior leadership role? Maybe it's, a lot of times we try to say, senior leadership, you have to be more vocal, or maybe you have to, like Jocelyn said, be the first one there or the last one to leave, or whatever you want to say in this year's unique. How have any of you kind of tried to step into more of a leadership role now being a senior, and what's something you've tried to do, maybe taking a risk in some fashion? Anybody have an example of that?
I'd say I've stepped into more of a role of when I see something, I say something. Because when you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, you're kind of like, it's not my job, like I'll let someone else handle it. But now if there's something that I see that can be changed or better, I'll say it, regardless of when it is or who it's said to.
Yeah.
It's kind of our job to be that person now too, because like freshmen and sophomore, they're kind of like whatever, whereas we've been here for 4 years, like now it's like us that we're the ones that like should be more responsible and be like, hey, like, and kind of just let people like know what's happening. I know like we have a thing like in our group chat, like we make the announcements, like any one of us three, and we like if people have questions, like they can come to us and like we can help direct them, because yeah, it is really crazy with like not having our gym. We're literally everywhere, and sometimes we have to talk like before we make an announcement, or like and we're like what time is that?
Yeah.
Where is it at? Like are we
separate
lifting?
Yeah, senior group chat.
Yeah.
Like 3 of us.
Yeah, 3.
Gotta make sure we get our information right before we announce it to everyone else.
Right, you don't want to announce the wrong thing, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure has happened. I'm glad you said, and I'll let it get to you. I just have so many questions for these girls.
Yeah.
I'm
I
glad
love
you
your
said
questions.
so. You've been here for 4 years. So this is like the 5th day of school now with students here. What has it been like 5 days in being that senior, and now you get to see those freshmen come in and look clueless, not know where they're going, starstruck or whatever you want to call it, which you guys were 4 years ago. What's it like being a senior walking the halls now? How does that feel?
It feels kind of weird, like out of place, because I don't know, I don't remember us feeling like looking that small, and like I don't know, they just look like middle schoolers, like I don't know, half the school. So it's just very different being older than everyone else, I guess.
Yeah, and for me it's especially weird because you think back to who the seniors were when we were freshmen, like especially on the volleyball team, it was Laura, PK, Morgan, all of them, and now the way you thought of them is probably how the freshmen are thinking of you, and so that's just what I think about a lot.
What was it like for you guys? You guys went out to the Louisville USD game last week. What was it like watching PK and Sydney play for Louisville and Laura play for USD? Does that seem like all those girls are that much bigger and that much more athletic, and now you're kind of saying the freshman looks so small? Was it kind of eye-opening for you guys to see that level of volleyball too?
Yeah, I loved it. I think everyone loved it. It's really fun to see people that you've played with and against in scrimmages and things like that, and see them. They're so much stronger now.
Yeah.
They're just insane. They're hitting the weight room way better than they did at high school. So it's really fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you got? I'm done.
If you just keep going. I like it. I guess here's where you guys are talking about leadership and stuff. So last year didn't go the way we planned in the championship, and I just want to know, what lessons do you guys think you learned from that, and how do you feel coming into the season knowing that? Because I was in your guys' position when I was a junior. Our basketball team made it to state championship and we lost. And the next year we ended up winning, but a lot has to change throughout the year, and you're not going to be the same team you are. So, especially when you come back in the season. So, like, what lessons do you think you learned, and how are you guys using what happened in that season into this season?
It's part of being that senior, see something, say something. The things that I didn't mention going into state last year, I'm bringing up now, and I'm bringing it up a lot earlier, because honestly, there's nothing that can prepare you for a state match other than playing in a state championship match. So I'm trying to use all the people that are returners that have played in that scenario and been under that high stress situation, and get them to really share it to the girls that have not been in that situation, and kind of almost desensitize them to the pressure of it so that they can perform better when we get to it.
And I think it's hard because there were so many girls that were there that were on different levels of it. Like, we had people on our court now that were playing in that state match. We have people who are on the bench that were playing in that state match. But then we also have people who, like Taryn wasn't even part of the team. We have people who weren't even, or who were watching in the crowd or something. Like, there's just so many different levels that people are on. And so it's, hard for all of us, I feel like, to just be let's go. Everyone says, we want to win the state championship, but I feel like so many people don't have the same drive or, that same, anger for, O'Gorman that some of the other people do, just based off of, what position they were in during that match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get everyone on the same page,
Yeah.
but I feel like we've started pretty soon bringing up the idea.
Yeah.
And in practice, Schroeder brings it up more than he has all of the years that we've been here.
Yeah,
So,
I've never heard him talk about it so much.
yeah.
Exactly.
And things are changing. We've had different, our libero has played middle back for the past 3 years, and now we switched it to left back.
Mm-hmm.
And we've kind of started running different offensive plays earlier in the season that we didn't do
Mm-hmm.
last year. So I think we're coming off a little bit stronger than we were. And we did take a loss last night, but that's almost better than
Yeah.
going undefeated the entire season.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
we took one non-conference loss last year
Yeah.
for the state championship. But I think it's almost a good thing that we got exploited really early. And that's
Yeah.
what I told them last night in the locker room. I was like, this loss means nothing. If anything, it's more beneficial
Yeah.
because it kind of puts a chip on your shoulder, gives you
Yeah.
a reason to want to go to practice and get better.
Yeah.
What were so you kind of spoke on, maybe Roosevelt last night exploited some things, or maybe we knew some weaknesses we had going in, some things we need to work on, and then they kind of came to light. And like Brianna said, with new faces to new positions to new people stepping into roles, what do you gals see are our biggest things we need to focus on as we continue to develop? Because the simple fact is that we will get better by playing more together. We will continue to develop. We want to be playing well later. What are some of the biggest things you girls know right now that we need to kind of shore up to play our better volleyball?
Well, one part of it is definitely our coverage and our short, their short tips. We last night even, well, I guess during the Lincoln game, they also exploited that for us. We saw a lot of dumps that just completely hit the floor, and then it happened again last night. And as the game went on, we kind of figured it out, and near the end, they weren't dropping anymore. So things like that, where it's just smaller little plays that we're just not getting to, but we're working on it and just hitting more shots. Really, just figuring out what's working and what's not.
But then also the simple things, everyone needs to be communicating every point, especially in crosstown rival matches. It's so loud. It is so hard to hear.
Loud.
And that's what creates chaos, because I don't know what someone's saying when they're this close to me or other things like that. So if we really focus on just staying very gritty and determined to just focus every single point and be very loud and do the little things as much as we can, it will help us in the long run.
Yeah.
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I see, especially at the Lincoln game, I saw you guys all smiling after you guys maybe made a mistake. I think that's really good because it kind of shows you own up to your mistake and you want to move past it. But I feel just from this conversation, you guys are very determined for the end goal. What do you think is the biggest thing you need to do in order to get there?
I think we need to play as a team, and I think that we need to trust each other and literally just have fun, because when we have fun, we go crazy, which is good. And but right now, because it takes time, and with us, we do have so many new faces, and we talked about it yesterday after the match, that trust just needs to be built there. And we've been only playing for 2 weeks, and it's in a different location almost every other week. So I just think that we need to just really get close with each other and learn to trust and work as a team together. We all have, I feel like we are a very good team, a very good mindset team. We can make a mistake and just laugh it off, understand what you did and just figure out how to fix it yourself, and move on. And I feel like we're a very good team at that. We're not just oh my gosh, I just hit that out of bounds, we suck, I suck, everything like that. You just have to put it to the back of your head after being okay, next time do this differently, try it out, and if it doesn't work, obviously do it again. And if ask the coaches. Like, they're always there to help. And, yeah.
Do you three ever call each other out for mistakes or, like, have a conversation with each other about what you three, especially as being leaders, as seniors, need to do a little bit better?
Honestly, probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
We don't. Kira and I are together
Mhm.
for some rotations, but I'm not really close to Bree on the court.
Yeah.
But if things are dropping that are,
Yeah, I was going to say,
we haven't really hit that yet, but-
Yesterday, she'll be, like, sets up, like, watch dump, just kind of,
Yeah.
like, reminder things, like, not really, like,
I've
Or,
never
like,
got
shots
on
that
them
are
about
open.
yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
But there are people that I'll be like, hey, this ball dropped. What do you,
Gonna do.
or am I gonna
like,
get
yeah,
it? Are you
we-
gonna
that's
get it?
gonna happen,
Things like
yeah.
that.
But if that goal's in mind, like, to help people, like, people can't be like, oh, like, she's just telling me what to do. Like, you have to take it in a good way, understanding that the only reason why, like, Jocelyn would be saying it is only to help our team out and to, like, help you get better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's everything in life that you do too. If you want to get better, you have to take that kind of criticism. Schroeder. Has he been your coach all 4 years here?
Mhm.
Describe him. One word. He's been on the
One
podcast
word.
before.
One word.
It's been on the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
I mean,
Describe his coaching style.
In one word, or can I
Yeah.
use?
Well, use
Coaching.
multiple if you want. I don't care.
coach.
Use one phrase.
One phrase.
One phrase to describe him.
I don't even know if I can do that.
I think it's like chill but determined.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like yesterday, or like, okay, for example, our Jefferson game last year went to 5 sets. Should not have done that. We did not play good. And all of us in our heads were like, oh my gosh, we're going to get into that locker room and he's going to be like,
So
yeah, like so mad. Because there's
Yeah.
no reason why we should have played like that. There's no reason why we should have went to 5 sets with them. And we get into the locker room and he's like, all right, guys. He was just so chill about it. And we ended up not having practice that day. And I remember going in, or like the next day. And I remember going into school and everyone's like, you guys should be running for that, like, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, we don't have practice. Like, we took a day off. Like, granted, we didn't have another game for the next, like, week or two. But, like, he's just, like, it's actually really nice to go into a locker room and not have a coach that's, like, so mad at you and just, like, yelling at you for every bad thing. Like, even in our game last night, we were down and it was either, like, a timeout or in between sets. And he's like, well, on a positive note, like, we did really good serving. Like, he's really good at, like, picking out the positive and, like, not really focusing on the negative. And he just, like, moves on, like, with us.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think he's always... Like,
Chill but determined.
Yes.
I
Yes.
like
How do you say that in
I
one
agree.
word?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
One phrase is better.
Yeah, I like that. Do you guys like putting on the Washington uniform?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you say volleyball's the best part of your career here at Washington?
Yeah.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Probably.
Just talk about Washington in general and why you like this environment at school.
Well, I went to Whittier, and Whittier may not have been great at sports, but the school spirit, crazy.
Yeah.
Like, everyone that went there, like, they were at the games cheering, like, all the time. Like, no matter if we win or lose most of the time, and they were still there.
Yeah.
So, and I think that Washington has a lot of that in them. Like, it's a game day. Like, everyone's like, let's go. Like, I just love the school spirit. And, like, when someone comes up to me and they're like, do you even like going to Washington? I'm like, yeah. Like, I wouldn't want to go to any other school. Like,
Yeah.
never have I been like, oh, I wish I was a Patriot. Like, no.
Yeah.
No. Never. Like,
Yeah.
I have never wanted to go to a different school. Like, I love going to Washington.
I'd say the same thing. It's cliche. Everyone's like, our school spirit is so good. We're the best in the country. But it's real. You, like,
Yeah.
walk in the hallways and people are like, are you going to the game? It's a game day
Yeah.
today. And it just spreads like fire.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be like a little corny, but like the circle of courage stuff, it feels like it's actually real to me. I don't know, like, just like the inclusivity, I feel like, of our school, like, we're all, it seems like we're very accepting of each other for the most part. And like that's not something that you're going to get at most schools. So I feel like that's a big part of it, and especially on our team, like, you know, there's no.
We don't have any drama.
No drama.
No.
Like,
yeah, it's really nice.
You just created the perfect segue, because I was just going to kind of lead into that, whether you liked it or not. So obviously with our circle of courage, you know, we talk about belonging, we talk about independence, generosity, and mastery. And it seems like we always start with belonging, and especially I think that, you know, if a person were to walk down our hallways, they'd be very surprised at the diversity that they see. I think we're known for our diversity. We're known as the school that has placed people from, you know, people from all over the world. But I think until you actually get into our hallways and you live it, you don't really truly grasp how incredible it is that we're able to make a place for all of these people here. And you know, they intermix. You see friendships form where, you know, a student from Nepal is all of a sudden a student from down the street, you know, and that's just really cool. How would you say, and this is maybe a tough question, maybe not, you know, you guys have been here for 4 years now. How do you think that you have tried or strived to create a sense of belonging? Maybe it's for another student, or maybe it's just for the general school community we have. How maybe have you, through volleyball or through clubs or through your interactions in the classrooms, how have you strived to just create a sense of belonging, that this is a welcoming place for all people?
I think it starts with treating everyone the same, just being an overall kind person as the baseline, but also understanding when people need a bit of help getting included in things or getting involved. You can treat everyone the same, but if someone looks like they're separated or they need a little bit more attention, it's good to just help them and kind of give them what they need, especially even just starting a conversation. And volleyball has helped me with that, because if it's someone I don't know very well, I say, hi, are you coming to the volleyball game, blah, 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 things like that. And you can talk to them about places that they can get involved in school or games that they can attend if they want to get more involved.
Yeah.
Do you guys, do you, any of you three have an example of, like, maybe when you were a freshman, do you have that person that stands out in your mind of the person that kind of gave you a sense of belonging? Did you have a person on the volleyball team at some point that was older than you? Like, I know you have some family example and you can share that, but is there a person that maybe stands out to you? Maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a volleyball player, maybe it's a friend or some sort that's maybe older that gave you a sense of belonging while you've been here when you were a freshman or a sophomore?
Well, it's not fair for me because I had 2 cousins and a sister on the team when I joined in 2019. That's when it was. So I already had a sense of belonging just from them. I had family members to turn to.
Yep.
3 of them. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my sister was a senior here when I was a freshman, so her and her friends really just made it easier to, like, be comfortable, especially our upperclassmen.
For me, there's not like
No
us.
family?
No family? You don't have any?
No, I got a younger sister. She's coming soon. But like, yeah, I don't know. For me, I just like I had a lot of friends on the, like, considering for the volleyball team, but then for school, like, for me, I just think it was really easy because, like, being in AP classes and accelerated classes, you kind of travel along with the same kids that you have, like, always. Like, now I take, like, this year I'm taking regular speech and, like, regular personal finance, and it's, like, really weird to me. And there's, like, I'm like I know 2 people in each class, maybe not even one. And it's like for all 4 years now, like, I've been taking AP classes with the same kids, and this year's, like, my first year honestly taking, like, regular classes, and it's like I don't know anyone now, like, in those classes. So it was really easy, I feel like, in those beginning years to, like, kind of fit in, only because you only had those people, and so you kind of just were, like, friends, like, because you're all together all day. So
Going from belonging to independence, you know, I feel like when you come in as a freshman, your world is kind of spinning. Even if you have family members here, I think it's you know, just it's a shock of a new building. It's much bigger than middle school classes, new teachers, all of that, and maybe you have to kind of lean on people for support. How do you feel like you ladies now as seniors and as leaders in your program, but also in our building, have a new sense of independence to make your own decisions, to be confident in who you are, so that can kind of, maybe shine on to the freshmen and say like, hey, this is going to be you in a few short years. Is there any, ways that you think you've developed as an individual to make your independent choices now as being a senior?
Well, for me, it helps because I kind of have an idea of like what I want to go into for college.
What's that?
And nursing.
Nursing.
Yes. And so, and I've already like worked towards it. I took a CTE class, health careers, whatever. And so like, but like now I just feel like it's really nice kind of having that like security of like I have a direction that I want, that like I aim to go into. As like a freshman, you walk in, you're like, I don't really know, like no idea, like you're here because you have to be, and like yeah, it's just like you don't know anything really, and everything's just like questions. And so now it's like I've been in the school for 4 years. I didn't even need to pull out my schedule to get to my classes this year. Like I'm like, okay, like I saw the teachers' names, I'm like I know it's there, like whatever. And so like I think just like the knowledge and the less questions, or I guess the more questions answered helps a lot.
For me, I try and do little things that I know the freshmen are paying attention to, because when I was a freshman, I watched the seniors like a lot. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah.
I watched them a lot. So if they did something, they always did it with confidence, and so you knew it was the right thing, whether it was or not, now that I'm thinking about it. So even if I'm like taking us somewhere, I'm walking with confidence so that everyone is following me with confidence, and they kind of have someone to see that's doing things confidently, so that they can hopefully develop that same security to do things and lead other people.
Yeah. I mean, we only have one more year here, so it's like, what are we gonna lose? We're basically just where we're supposed to be, I guess, and and that is being confident with where we are and independent and all that.
Yeah. And you think about how lucky you three are to have had not only volleyball, but I think you would attest to the experience you've had at Washington, the people you've been able to maybe be mentored by, in a sense, whether it's people you followed on the volleyball team, the great coaches you have, the teachers that you've had. I think a lot of us don't realize how lucky we are to just be surrounded by great people for 4 years, and that's only going to help you in the next phase of your lives too. So,
what do you guys want your class's legacy to be at Washington?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah.
What do you want?
You
our
ask all the
class
hard
leagues
questions.
to be?
Well, yeah, because we can't just go surface level. I mean, so here's the way I look at it. Okay, every class brings something different, but there's still that base, that fundamental that the school has. Okay, what do you think you guys want to do that you want people to see was a little bit different, but it was for the better?
Well, last year on the volleyball team specifically, the thing that they did that was a little bit different but better was like, this is gonna sound kind of bad, but it was being nice. In previous years, the seniors have been a little more cold to everyone else, and they're like, you can't do this, you can't talk to me, I'm a senior, like, do this. They're yelling at you for whatever they can sometimes. But last year, the seniors were like, hey, let me get this for you. Oh, let me hold this door for you. Oh, I'll grab the med kit this time. And they were being generous, which was like, whoa, like, what are you doing? But we ended up having a great season because everyone had so much trust and just had overall a mutual kindness with everyone, which takes a little bit of fun out of it because now we're seniors and I'm like, well, now we can't be mean. So.
Exactly.
But I think it changed for the better, so maybe by the middle of the season we'll know.
Yeah, I don't know if we've figured out exactly what we're going to do differently, but I think that's something that we're going to try to keep the same for the most part because it worked out last year.
I just think that's why we were, like, part of the reason why we were such a good team last year is because we were all, like, on the same level. Like, like our seniors respected us in a way that, like, they haven't ever before. So, like, and I think that we should also do that in a way, even though it's a little like.
I'm sure Coach Schroeder will love to hear that.
That should be good.
Oh, and I think too, and I know, Jocelyn, what you're saying with the, the seniors maybe thinking, okay, now I don't have to carry the med kit or I don't have to do this, but that just I feel like that kind of just comes with the natural aura of being a senior, and it's not necessarily mean or cold. It's just how it is sometimes. And I think that you three saying that we're going to continue what Ellie and others did last year is only going to help create the new normal for what senior leadership is. I'm willing to carry something. I'm willing to do the little things because, like you said, all those freshmen right now are looking at you three do the little things, and all of a sudden it's, oh, that's what seniors do, along with the big senior leadership stuff too. So I think that only creates a great sense of, belonging and inclusion for your volleyball program and throughout the school too.
And that's also like what leadership is, like having all the responsibility kind of put on you, and no one else is going to do it, so you have to. Do you guys think you're good at talking about difficult things to people on the team? Or do you guys think that you've had to learn, like Jocelyn, you were talking about how you have to, you now, if you see something, say something. Do you feel like you're good at something like that? Or do you feel like that's kind of a learned skill you've had to really go into?
I'm still not good at bringing up the harder topics to people. And I can't come up with an example right now, but a lot of times I'll tell them to tell them, just so it's getting done, but not coming from me, because sometimes it matters who it comes from, who says what. So I definitely lean on their shoulders to kind of help me out if I see something and don't know how to necessarily execute telling them.
Yeah. Or I think sometimes Jocelyn, she'll tell me to or if she's saying to fix something, but she doesn't know how to say it. She's sorry, this isn't trying to be rude or anything. She's I just don't know how else to say it, and just kind of warns you for in case it sounds rude or something.
A very long warning.
Yeah, just to not take it too seriously.
Well, because the thing that needs to be said a lot of times isn't the thing somebody wants to hear, right? And it's easy, it doesn't matter what age you are, to hear it and feel attacked or feel inadequate or exposed or whatever it is. And it's good to preface it with, hey, this just needs to be said. I love you, but we need to do this better, So I think that's one of the most important, because I would say we would agree, I would definitely agree with how I talk to my wife, or because I have to preface a lot of things with my wife, hey, I tried to listen to you, but
there's some video now.
I know. I didn't listen as well as I should. I don't know where this item is, or something like that, And I think that when you get to the point where you are first willing to say something and have a hard conversation, that's one of the most important and one of the most difficult things we human beings can do.
In my freshman year, they introduced me to something called a compliment sandwich. So you started out with a compliment, and then you get the difficult, don't want to say stuff out of the way, and then you end it with another compliment. So they're initially oh, thank you, and then they're what? And then they say, oh, thank you, and then you move on.
Compliment sandwich.
Write that down.
That's gold right there.
Well, good. I think we're going to move on to the Mount Rushmore. Okay. Are you guys...
Let's do it.
You guys ready?
We got it.
Sure.
So we name ours first, or you name yours?
So we're going to draft, okay? It's a snake draft.
Sorry.
Okay? So, we don't have a coin. Well, you guys are guests. We'll let you go first, okay? So you'll have the first pick in the draft, okay? Then we will get the second and third, because it's a snake.
Okay.
And then you guys will get fourth, and we have four, okay? So it's the top four.
Okay.
And what are we drafting for listeners?
Yes, this is the Mount Rushmore of fast food items, okay? Of fast food items. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pick one, you're going to pick one. Okay.
Our first choice is French fries.
Where from?
Oh, you have to pick?
Yeah.
McDonald's.
McDonald's French fries. 1-1. Talk about. Do you got one ready?
No, you go, because that was mine.
I'm just going to go a regular Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Okay.
A chicken sandwich, regular Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. I mean, especially you go down to Chick-fil-A now, you can't even get in there. The lines are so long, but their service doesn't stop, and you go and you can get through there at some point.
They are decently fast.
They're
I will say,
fast.
for that long of a line, they get you through.
They're good.
Thank you
nice.
for helping our pick.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I don't do a lot of fast food. French fries was kind of my go-to from McDonald's. I would say probably I'm gonna go Taco Bell, and I'm gonna go cheesy gordita crunch.
I get that
Jeez.
too.
That's
That
my
was
favorite.
literally.
Or, I mean,
Don't.
sorry,
Don't.
no.
No.
See, they're helping us. They're helping
It's
us.
not.
All right, your
Okay.
guys' turn.
Oh.
What do you think?
Okay, well, I have one.
Okay, I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
I don't know what to say either.
A Culver's Blizzard. Or what do they call them?
Oh,
Concrete mixer.
wow.
Concrete
Wow.
mixer.
You were trying to mix Dairy Queen and
I know, you
So
really
they're-
like it if you
Concrete
know what it's
mixer.
called.
Sorry,
Do you have a
guys.
specific kind? Like a
I think it's like Reese's, chocolate Reese's.
chocolate
Whatever.
Reese's concrete
Yeah.
mixer?
Personally, cookie
Sounds
dough.
good to me.
Yeah, cookie dough's the
Sorry,
go-to.
gal.
sorry.
It's a go-to.
Yeah.
They get two.
They get two. They
You
get
get two. You get another one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hold on. What was our other
They're
one?
cracking under pressure.
Oh yeah, McDonald's hash browns.
McDonald's hash
We
browns.
hit the
Like their
breakfast
Give a
breakfast?
spiel.
Yeah,
Give
we
a
hit-
spiel for it.
They're just so like
Crunchy.
gold.
Yeah,
Like, have you
crunchy,
seen
yeah.
one? They're like
Warm.
golden, and then you like eat it, and it's just like
They're
a
like the
good crunch.
microwave
Like
little.
Yeah, I know.
They're
I know what
cheap,
they are. I
They're
know.
like nice and like perfectly salted.
yeah,
Get you going for the day. If you're
Like,
driving,
if-
you can use your other hand.
yeah. Like if you're going to McDonald's to get breakfast, like you have to get a hash brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got now you brought that up. Now I have two that I have in mind. I think, and I'm a Pepsi guy, but a McDonald's Coke. Okay, a McDonald's Coke is one of the greatest things in the world, and I don't know why. I don't know what they do to it.
They put extra sugar in it.
I don't think that's true.
It is.
No, I think it's
It's
almost a
proven
little
they
bit.
put extra sugar
Is
in
it really?
Yeah. Look it up.
I don't believe that.
Look it up after we're done here.
I don't believe that. Now, I got one for you.
Go ahead.
One of the greatest inventions of all time is a guy who put an egg, he put a piece of bacon, and then around that he put 2 pancakes. And a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle at McDonald's is probably 1,000 calories, and it's worth every single one of those. It's worth every single one of those. It's one of the greatest inventions of all time. Steve
good
Jobs
pick.
couldn't even come up with it.
That's true.
Yeah. They have one more?
They have one more.
They have one more.
One
Yep.
more.
Yep.
One more. Wow. Well, he kind of did that.
Okay.
This is where having those crucial conversations come into play.
Yeah.
Like,
No
we had,
offense,
like,
but that's a
6
terrible pick.
Like, we had 6 things when we were out
Yeah, we
there.
had
We were
6 of
like,
them.
yeah.
And you can't remember them.
Well, we said
No.
most of them.
Yeah, I think you guys
Yeah.
said them.
Yeah. So, it's from McDonald's again. But it's a McDonald's Sprite because it's better than
We
Coke.
think it's better than
Yeah, it's
Coke.
better.
Oh my. No.
And we think we're winning this one.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
It
it's
is.
Coke.
It's better.
Absolutely
because
not.
you're 3 against 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll take a dark soda over a light soda any day, unless it's Mountain Dew.
Sprite is like top tier. Like,
McDonald's
Yeah,
Sprite is top
McDonald's Sprite. Is
Google
like,
it.
just better
It's on
than
TikTok.
I've
everywhere.
seen I've seen people have this whole thing over McDonald's Sprite. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Well, the fans are gonna vote. All of our
Yeah.
all of our subscribers, followers. Other than that, I don't got anything else. Do you?
Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being the guinea pigs for this new creation
Yeah.
that we have here. And I think that, as we sit here on, what is it, August 31st today, like I think it was Jenna said, this goes really fast. And before you know it, it's going to be May, So, our challenge to you is just continually reminding yourself of that, but also thanking you for the impact that you've had here over the last 4 years. And, you've got 7, 8, however many months it is to kind of leave your legacy, like Coach Hanneman would say. But, I think you guys are already kind of seeing the impact you can have on freshmen walking through the halls and, what our Circle of Courage represents. So just continue to do that every day, and we hear it here through your conversations. And we thank you for being part of this journey we're having with this podcast. So
Yeah. Go Warriors.
Go Warriors.
Go
Warriors.
Warriors.